Hello there, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by for your daily tarot forecast. This forecast is for May the 24th of 2020. We are going to go ahead and start with Aries right off the top, just like we normally do. Okay, so Aries, what you have showing up is the Two of Stones. And then you have the Knight of Stones. Sorry about my fingernails, guys. I'm just realizing, wow. And then we have the Four of Bows. Nothing like seeing something in a camera to make you realize, ugh. Alrighty, so anyway, let's look at what you've got here. Okay, so with your Two of Stones and your Knight of Stones, you're doing something to make yourself more strong in the material world, to make yourself more valuable. You may be learning some kind of new skill, making some kind of investment that's going to add to your value. Something along those lines, something that's making you more valuable to other people in the tangible world, or more valuable in general in the tangible world. And this is a challenge. This is something that you're really putting in some effort and some energy to be able to do that. And why is this a challenge? This is a challenge because there's friends and family that are celebrating, and I think that you may be limiting the amount of celebration you're doing, or the amount of money you're spending on the celebration, or the amount of time that you're spending on that celebratory time. Some of you may be limiting because of social distancing, maybe, so there could be that as a factor too. But you have this distraction around you of people who are celebrating and just getting together and enjoying each other's company. I know that sounds crazy right now. I mean, this could even be happening on Zoom. It doesn't have to be physically getting together. And that is making this a challenge for you to do whatever this is that makes you more valuable in the tangible world, whether that's studying or investing, or I don't know, improving your home, whatever it is that you're working on. Candace, glad to see you here, my dear. How are you today? Next up, we're going to take a peek at Taurus. And this is going to be Taurus for May the 24th. All right. So Taurus, the cards that came up for you were the Wanderer in reverse. Thank you for that thumbs up. I'm very well. Thank you, Candace. We have the Guardian also in reverse. And we have the Clearance card, or the Seven of Bows card, showing up right side up. Okay, so Taurus, what's going on here? Taurus, you have been struggling or fighting against some type of addiction or temptation, and that struggle or that fight continues. You're not giving up. You are continuing forward with that struggle or that fight. And why are you doing that? Because you want to clear out the negative influence that that has had in your life. And actually, I don't even want to say that you want to. You have cleared out a lot of the negative influence that that has had in your life. And so now when this temptation or addiction, whatever this is, this fear even that you could be fighting against comes up, you're like, you know what? No, I've gained too much ground to go backwards now. So still fighting with that, having the motivation to keep going. My state is in phase 1, or some kind of version of phase 1. Like, all the stores and all the shops are open now, even like the hairdressers. Everybody has to take a lot of precautions. I think we're allowed to have up to 50 people at a gathering. So I think my state is more open than what the federal suggestion was by Dr. Fauci and Birx and President Trump. But so far, I think we're doing okay. We're not having massive hospitalizations or anything like that. And I know that a lot of people are not participating at that level. Like, I haven't been to a hairdresser's or a nail salon or anything like that, and I probably wouldn't, even if that was something that I did all the time anyway. I know that my parents are still staying very socially distanced. They're both in their 70s. They are not going out to their normal social get-togethers that they used to go to on a regular basis just yet. They're still waiting. So there's a lot of people that are not, participating fully in everything that's open. But we've got a lot of things are definitely open. Our biggest problem has been our meat processing in this state, because I'm in Missouri, and we had a couple of plants that had significant numbers of people who had COVID at the meat processing places. Let's see. We're going to do Gemini's cards for May 24th. And even a lot of restaurants. Our restaurants can be open, and when you go in, a lot of the chairs and tables have been taken out, so there's more space between. But there's also a lot of restaurants that are still just doing carry out. Their owners have not chosen to open their doors just yet. Not completely. Not the dining room anyway. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's focus. Gemini, May 24th. You guys have the 8 of Bows showing up in reverse. You have the Queen of Arrows, or the Swan, showing up in reverse. And you have the 5 of Bows, or my empowerment card, showing up in reverse. Okay, so Geminis. With this 8 of Bows and the Swan both showing up in reverse, this is just telling me that you're in a situation where you have realized that just because somebody is your personal friend doesn't mean they need to know about your work business, and vice versa. Somebody who is your work friend, or somebody who is your work friend does not need to know about your personal life. Like, you're realizing, I don't need to be crossing those over right now. And I think something may have happened either to you or to somebody close to you that's made you realize this, because you are putting up walls and barriers and making sure that work doesn't cross over with personal and vice versa. Why is this happening? Well, we've got the empowerment card showing up in reverse. So something has happened where you have seen somebody lose some of their standing or some of their credibility, either in personal life or work life. For a lot of you, this is actually going to be you that lost some of your standing or some of your reputation in either one or the other, maybe even both, by crossing over information. And so because you've seen that happen, whether it was you or somebody close to you, now you are not letting yourself be in that position, or letting yourself be in that position again, Geminis. All right. Let's take a peek next at Cancer. Thank you for that thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Thank you also to those of you who are sharing these videos. And thank you to those of you who are ordering private readings. Because of you guys, I get to do what I love to do for a living. La da 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 la da da. Cancers. You have pretty much the opposite message from Gemini. Okay, so you've got the 8 of Bows, but it's right side up. You also have the Queen of Arrows, which is right side up, or the Swan. And you have the empowerment card right side up. So you basically got the same cards, but they're all in reverse of what Gemini had, but they're in the same position. So basically what we have here Cancers, is that with this Swan coming in right side up and that 8 of Bows coming in right side up, you are actually being very smart about what you let cross over from business to personal and personal to business. And there's actually something that works out really well for you to allow that crossover to happen. So maybe you're just a great networker, and being a great networker allows you to come across people in your personal life that you're just, you just walk up to people and start talking to them and get to know them. And, so maybe as you're networking, you're realizing that some of these people you're networking with that you're meeting on personal time would actually make great clients, or that they could benefit from the service your company offers or whatever. So you are definitely finding that the people that you work with are also your friends, and your friends also make great people to work with. Okay, that's what's going on with you, Cancers. And you're doing this strategically. With that swan showing up, this is not just falling in your lap type of thing. This is you're doing this strategically. You're planning this. And why is that happening? Because you have noticed that this works for you. This really works for you to be able to cross those over and make everyone all a part of a seamless connection. Okay. Nellie, hello, hello. How you doing, my dear? I don't think I've seen you on a live before. Welcome. Leo. This is going to be Leo for May the 24th. All right, Leos. You have the exploitation card showing up. You also have the green man in reverse. And you have the bear. Let's look at what's going on here, Leos. The exploitation combined with the green man, you've got somebody in your life who is basically has strong narcissistic tendencies, who has been and is taking advantage of you when we see you on the 24th. So what are strong narcissistic tendencies? Let's just hit the tip of the iceberg here, because I don't have time to go into that in depth. But this is somebody who is going to look like a salt of the earth, upstanding citizen when you first meet them, great person. As we would say around here, good people. Somebody that when you meet, you just think they're good people. Now, and when I say good people, I'm still referring just to one person. As you get to know this person, you begin to slowly realize that the more you get to know them, the more you see that they will throw fits if they don't get what they want. They will use manipulation. They will use deception to get what they want. There really are no rules. They consider themselves above the rules. And they can come across as really not having feelings for anybody else or about what anybody else cares about or needs. Okay? So, Leos, this card combination basically says you're being taken advantage of by somebody who is like that. Other people probably think they're the most wonderful gentleman or lady that they have ever met, and you see the real deal, and the real deal is pretty ugly. All right, so basically a lot of people wouldn't believe you if you were to tell them what was going on. Now, why is this actually happening? Why are you being taken advantage of by this person? Because they realize that you have made a decision about whether you want to go off and start something completely new or keep the status quo the way it is. Okay, and I can actually see this playing out whichever way you've made this decision, Leos. So if you decide to keep the status quo the way it is, and this person has been taking advantage of you for a while, well, then they know, okay, well, you've made a decision. You're committed to staying in the situation. They're going to keep taking advantage of you. Okay, now, say you make the decision that, you know what, I'm going to go out away from this situation and start something completely new, and I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I just know I can't do this anymore. So you've made that decision. Well, guess what? This person is going to try to scare you out of that decision or lure you back from that decision. So Either way, you've got somebody that's basically taking advantage of you, whichever decision you've tried to make. They don't want to lose you as somebody that they can manipulate and get to do the things that they want to have done. And so if you've chosen to stay, then they're like, yay, this is somebody that's solid, that's sticking around, that I'm going to be able to manipulate. Whoopee. If you have chosen to go, then they're like, nope, got to bring them back. Same thing, still using manipulation, probably emotional at this point, maybe financial. Okay, so that's for Leos. Well, it's definitely the right time to have all that going on, right? Right at home where you can do all that. Okay, let's look at Virgo. This is Virgo for May the 24th. Have you guys thought about how much tighter families are going to be after this, especially with the homeschooling? It's kind of a reset for family life and family relationships. As long as the parents aren't losing patience and trying to shoot the kids or drink all the alcohol in the liquor cabinet along the way, at least. Quite welcome, Miss Annie. I bet you already recognize that person if that applies to you. All right, so Virgo. Creativity in reverse. Protection in reverse. Attraction right side up. Ba-da-da, dot, dot. Okay, Virgos. Three of Stones and the Four of Stones right there together, both of them in reverse. Okay. Virgos, there's a situation that you were hoping to be working on with somebody else. You were hoping to be, what's that word I always use? Collaborating. There we go. You were hoping to be collaborating with somebody else on some kind of project or situation. However, I think you're having a hard time finding somebody to collaborate with you, or whoever you arranged to have collaborate with you is just not working out. And so now you are doing this all completely on your own. And that's where this Four of Stones shows up in reverse. The full responsibility is falling on you. And you may be putting yourself in a little bit of a vulnerable position because you don't have this other person to lean on as part of the person to carry, part of the burden carrying responsibilities. I really don't get that this is bad, though. I feel like this is kind of like you graduating from riding around on a tricycle to riding around on a bike. You're going from counting on the idea that there are other people there in the thing with you, in the project with you, making it float, to, oh my God, I got to make this thing float all by myself. And it looks to me like you're doing it. Okay. But why are you doing it, Virgo? Because whatever this is that you wanted to collaborate with somebody else on and that just didn't happen, you really, really like this idea or this project. You like it. You see all the potential that it has there. And so this was not something that you could just say, well, I can't get anybody else to work on this with me. I'm going to have to let it go. The draw was too strong. Even if nobody else was going to work on it, you had to make this go. Okay. And so that's actually for the 24th. I talk about it in past tense, but that's actually what we see for the 24th. That's what it kind of feels like to me when I look at it. Because, spirit isn't limited by time. So when I'm looking at it, a lot of this stuff feels like past tense to me, even though it hasn't happened yet. All right, next up, we're going to take a peek at Libra. Thank you to all of you putting thumbs ups on this video. I do appreciate it. Thank you also to those of you sharing this video. Both of those activities do get this video in front of more people. which means I get to help more people for free. Yay. So thank you very much. And then also, of course, thank you to those of you who are buying private readings from me. All of your support at every level does help me to reach more people. So I do appreciate it. Lets me do what I love to do for my living. Shakoya, Shakoya, how are you, my dear? Glad you're here. We're up to Libra right now. Libras, you guys have the Three of Vessels in reverse. You have the Wanderer, one of my favorite cards. And you have the Three of Arrows in reverse as well. I like this, actually, Libras. Okay. Three of Vessels in reverse along with the Wanderer tells me that there's somebody who is in your sphere of influence who treated you badly, and you decided, you know what, that's okay. I'm going to walk away from this situation. I don't need to stay here where somebody's not treating me well. And so you're basically taking a leap of faith. You're just realizing, I'm not sticking around in this. You may not know exactly where you're going, but you're not staying there. Okay? Now, why is this happening? Because you've got the Three of Arrows in reverse, which means that you've had some healing from some kind of heartache or heartbreak. And I'm really, really liking this vibe, actually, Libra. This healing from some kind of heartache or heartbreak is what's actually allowing you to go, yeah, you were a jack. How would our phone say it? You were an asshat. You were an asshat. And I'm out of here. Because you're not feeling the need to hold on to that situation or try to fix that situation or try to bring that situation around. Because you've gotten your healing. You've gotten your healing. And now, and so what if they were an asshat? Now you're going to move forward. Fantastic. I'm glad to hear that you're good, Sequoia. Let's look at Scorpios next. Could you guys tell I was struggling to find a family-friendly word for Libras? Okay, Scorpios for May the 24th. Let's see what comes up for us. Scorpio. Whoa, whoa. La da da. La da 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 da. La da da. I just got a notice that I'm live on my channel. How old is your son, my dear? Scorpio. Fellow Scorpios, we have the Ace of Bows. We have the Moon. Is it the Moon? The Mirror. The Mirror in reverse. I was going to say this deck kind of has two Moon cards. And then we've got the Wheel in reverse. Okay, Scorpios, fellow Scorpios. I'm not too thrilled about that Wheel in reverse, but let's see what's going on here. Okay, so Scorpios, we are going to be having some kind of really great idea about how to move things forward. And this is going to be an idea that makes us feel excited and happy. And we're really going to be considering this idea. We're going to be lining this idea up along with what are our strengths as Scorpios, as people. What are our strengths? What do we bring to the table here? And how does that line up with this idea? Like, are those good strengths to have with this idea? Or are they would this make this idea kind of self-defeating for us, but maybe better for somebody else? We're really going to be pondering this idea and pondering, is this the right idea for me or not? All right. And why is this happening? Well, this is happening because basically I don't think this is even personal. I think this is happening because the world in general, like everybody in the world in general, has been dealing with some stuff. This has not been exactly the most favorite, wonderful cycle that we've all been going through. A lot of us in the world are still going through it in a pretty extreme way, where some of the others of us are starting to get the shackles a little bit looser. But because the world is going through this situation, we have a new idea about something that we can bring to the world, basically. And we're just trying to figure out, am I the right person to actually bring this to the world? Like, I know it would be helpful for the world, but am I the right person to bring this to the world? Would I be able to actually do this? Would I be able to do the carry through? Would I be able to do the follow up on this? Would I be able to make this as effective as I would want it to be? And so we're making a decision about something like that on the 24th. Fantastic. Well, congratulations. By 19, you've made it through the worst of the terrible teens. You've made it through that whole I'm 18, I get to do whatever I want because I'm an adult phase. And the whole I'm 16, I know everything and you know nothing and you're an embarrassment phase. Let's look at Sagittarius. This is going to be Sagittarius for May the 24th. Sagittarius, your first card just fell. Kind of fell at an angle. We're going to take it that way too. All right, so Sagittarius, you've got some interesting things going on here. All right, so what fell at an angle was our swan card. It fell out like this. We're going to read it like that. Your second card is the Otter card. By the way, this is the Wildwood Tarot, for those of you wondering. And then your third card that came out is my Healing card. Okay, so let's look at these. These are kind of hard to hold the way it came out. Okay, so with the Otter and the Swan at an angle. The Otter is a card that talks about being very comfortable going back and forth between head and heart. So whatever decisions you're making, logic seems to line up with how you feel about things too. Okay, Sagittarius, that's when we're looking at this card just by itself, but we're not. But you've got the basic meaning. So now we're looking at this combined with our Swan, who's on her side. Now my Swan can be a very defensive card. She's very logical. She's defensive. If she feels like she's made too vulnerable, she will cut out whatever caused that vulnerability. Okay. Now she's on her side, which just means that I think you're going through some confusion right now about what's going on in your head and your heart. Your head could be questioning what your heart's saying, and your heart could be in total rebellion to what your head's saying. So you've got some issues here. It's kind of hard to make decisions right now, Sagittarius, because your head and your heart just really aren't agreeing, and it's causing you to feel confused about should I stay or should I go? Should I let this person in or should I not? That type of thing. Okay. Why is this happening? Well, I think that at one point you had clarity around the situation. You were very comfortable with that situation, especially with that Otter right side up. But now you've had some healing. Now you've had some clarity around a situation, or you've had some clarity around yourself. You're understanding things at a deeper level than you understood them before. And before, where you would have settled for whatever was going on, now with these two cards that show up, you're not so sure you want to settle for that anymore. You're not so sure that's the best thing anymore. you're not so sure you shouldn't be locking that other thing out of your life and looking for something that is healthier, because you've done some meditation, you've got a new understanding, you've got a new clarity. You've done some healing around some old issues. So where before you might have been very comfortable continuing some kind of cycle or some kind of unhealthy situation with somebody else. And yes, this feels very emotional to me, by the way. Feels like we're working with emotions. Now you're not so sure. Now you're questioning, am I really going to settle for that? It seemed so comfortable before, but it's not as comfortable as it used to be. I'm thinking maybe I need to defend myself from that. Okay, so that's what we've got going on for you, Sagittarians. Gail C., hello, hello, welcome. Glad to see you in the room. How are you? Sagittarians, have to say, kudos to you for doing some growth. Just looks like you've got a little bit more to do to push through to some kind of ending point of, okay, I really get this now and I know how to apply it into my personal life. But you're on your way. Progress is always good. How are you, Miss Gail? Capricorns, you guys are up next. This is Capricorn for May the 24th. Sagittarius, that was deep, and I like it. Thank you guys for the thumbs ups. Thank you for spending some time with me here today, and thank you for sharing this video. And of course, thank you to those of you who are ordering private readings from me. La da da. Okay, so Capricorn, boy, the swan is figuring big in today's readings. You guys have the swan. This is at least the third time it's shown up, if not the fourth. You have the great bear. And you have the morning card in reverse. Not as in morning versus night, but as in morning, aka grief. Capricorns. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's powerful. Capricorns with the swan and the great bear. There's somebody that is coming to you that wants to restart something. Doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, but for a lot of you it is. Could be the restart of a project, restart of a friendship, restart of a contract. And you're looking at it logically. And as you're looking at this logically, you're just thinking, this just doesn't make sense. Does not make sense to get this thing going up again. Why? Why is this happening? Because it seems like whenever this project, relationship, situation, whatever it was, whenever this got put on the back burner, this was incredibly difficult for you. You had a very strong emotional reaction to that. It was devastating. And now you're finally getting to the point that you're realizing, you know what? Okay, that was terrible and it sucked and it was unfair and it should not have happened. I feel kind of like President Trump saying that should never have happened. It should have been stopped at China. But you're feeling like, it was unfair and it should never have happened. But you know what? It did. And it is what it is. And I'm moving forward. And you're starting to see light at the end of the tunnel. You're starting to see how you can make things happen anyway, how you can move forward. And you're doing that. You're beginning to do that with this card. You're just beginning to do that. You haven't even really scratched the surface yet. But you are starting to see that, you know what, my face actually does form a smile every once in a while. I'm going to be okay. This is basically the card that says, I'm not really done grieving, but I know I'm going to be okay. All right. And because you know you're going to be okay, even though whatever this was put on the back burner, which was not your choice, by the way, and it was really hard for you. Now, as you have the opportunity to restart this thing that was put on the back burner, you're realizing, you know what? Just not that into it. Just not that into it. I've already got myself set to where I was okay with this being done and over. So now that it's coming back, I'm still kind of okay with it being done and over. So not going to go back. Okay. So that's for Capricorn. All right, let's look at Aquarius. This is going to be Aquarius for May the 24th. Excuse me. Little scratch in my throat today. I swallowed popcorn wrong earlier. Anyway, Aquarius for May the 24th. Quite welcome, Ms. Annie. Have a great day, my friend. Alicia, glad you're here, my dear. Thank you, by the way, everybody, for the thumbs ups and for sharing this video and for ordering private readings. It is all your support at every single level that does allow me to do what I love to do for a living. And yes, I say that a lot. It doesn't mean that I mean it any less, because I really do mean it a lot, as much as I say it and more. Aquarius, you guys have the eel showing up. You also have the journey showing up in reverse. And you have my insecurity card. Ooh. Interesting. So Aquarius. What we have here is avoidance, my friends. There is some kind of change that you know that if you would make, that would make things better for you, at least in one particular area of your life. However, you're refusing to make that change because you're not sure how it's going to affect the other areas of your life. And the fear of the unknown is strong for pretty much all humans. And that's what you're looking at right now. That's what you're up against, Aquarians. So what are you doing? Instead of making the change that you know would actually bring positive results in at least one area of your life, you are looking around for, well, what else can I do to bring some positive change instead? You're trying to be very creative and think outside the box. You're looking for solutions that other people probably wouldn't even consider, which is, in this case, is kind of a warning sign. Okay, but that's what you're doing. Why are you doing it? This is your other warning sign. You're doing it because you feel really insecure. Like I said, you're afraid of the unknown. You're afraid of change. And that's normal for all humans. I will tell you, though, that I'm a firm believer that there are two things that motivate us. One thing is love. The other thing is fear. I think we make really bad decisions when we make decisions based in fear. And I think that we make better decisions when we make decisions based in love. So I would ask you, if there is some kind of change that you're avoiding, that you're trying to work your way around and figure out how you can change things without making that particular change, even though you know it would do you good, it would be a good idea to look at what is your motivation. Is your motivation insecurity or fear, or is your motivation love? And then kind of work backwards from there as to what the real answer would be that would actually be beneficial to yourself and other people who care about you as well. That's just my take on it. The official card take, if we don't read anything into it of Amista's opinion, the official card take is there's a change that you could be making that would improve things in your life, but you are working on every which way but to make that change to bring about that improvement. And you're doing this because you're feeling really insecure about making that change. Okay, so that's the clean translation without the Amista input. Hello there, Angela. I know you're a Libra. Awesome. Very glad to hear that. Very glad to hear that about your week. All right, so this is going to be for Pisces for May the 24th. Pisces, Pisces, May the 24th, Pisces. Okay, Pisces, 2 8s. Both of them are in reverse. I think you guys are going to be redoing something on the 24th, and this is going to be something that it's already something that you've done once, and it's on a nice solid foundation, but I think you're looking at it and you're realizing, you know what? I could improve that. I could make that better. Let me start again. And you may be pulling part of it down to restart. Let's look at your cards, though, specifically, not just numerologically. 8 of Stones showing up in reverse. Page of Vessels in reverse. 8 of Bows showing up in reverse. This is a popular card. This is like the 3rd time it's shown up for the day. All right, so Pisces, on the 24th, you're not getting any kind of work done. And the reason you're not getting any kind of work done is because you really can't decide what you want to do or how you want to do it. There's something about this where there's a lot of confusion, and this confusion is keeping you from moving forward. Why is this happening? What I'm hearing as I pick up this card is too many cooks spoil the stew. You've got too many people giving you input on how to do this thing or what to do. And because you've got so many people giving you input, you're having a hard time settling what your own priorities are. Pisces, I know you don't like to do confrontation, so you're just trying to make everybody happy here. You're just trying to make everybody happy, and I got that. That's part of your personality. You're just happiest when everybody around you is happy. But it's really confusing you because you're not able to see straight about what's important to you right now because you're so busy trying to make everybody happy, and it's not allowing you to accomplish a darn thing. Food for thought. You get to handle that however you want. By the way, just because something shows up in the cards doesn't mean it's guaranteed to happen. We all have free will. We can make decisions that are a little bit out of our normal and throw things, change them into something that might be more favorable for us. So you're a Pisces, huh, Nelly? All right, so that covers everybody for tomorrow. Thank you all so much for being here. I do appreciate it. Once again, thank you for the thumbs ups. Thank you for sharing this video with others who may benefit from it as well. And of course, thank you to those of you who are ordering private readings from me. I enjoy every single one of you and all of our interactions. Everybody have a fantastic day, and I will see you back here the next time. Peace out.